as a roofing business owner, is building a personal brand important?
So I've worked so freaking hard at not being a part of the business. Like so hard, dude.
Yeah.
I don't have my name on anything. I went ghost on social media for 3 years, literally to like get people to think I'm not like you don't call me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Call our office. And I even today still send friends. The only people I don't send to my office are like role models. That's pretty much it. And if you're a role model of mine, like there's like, and mind you, there's like three. I don't have many.
If you're on Scott's list of three.
I could name them, but yeah, there's three guys that when they call, I take care of them personally.
Yeah.
But they're idols of mine. I look up to them. Other than that, but it's huge at the early stages of business. My goal is to build a business to sell. I don't want my face on nothing. I want to grow the business with my. If you look at my Google reviews, it's a perfect example. You can't find my name in a Google review, but you can find every single one of my sales reps' names, literally top to bottom. I want separation. Everybody had my phone number for the longest time, my personal number. And finally, I just turned that into the office number and I quit giving out my personal number. I literally I don't give it to anybody because it just never quit. And it's real funny when that happened. It took some time, but after about a year, our office phone, our missed call log, like after 5 p.m. and on Saturdays and Sundays is almost non-existent. Everybody understands it's a business. You call we answer the phone from 7 to 5. That's during business hours. Like we have a life. We run a real business. I'm not at your beck and call 24/7. But in the early stages, for the first 7 years, and the first 5 were the worst. But the first 7 years, I took primarily all the phone calls. The first 5, I took every phone call. It was just me. And I had no life. The first 7 years, I never took a vacation. I never took a day off, like not one. I went out of town one time, hit the fan. I literally left vacation to come home. You know what I mean? And it's because I couldn't deal with all the phone calls. It's like I can't deal with this. I got to just go home. But that's just what it takes. If you want to be successful, you can't just pawn all responsibility off on day one. You have to say, hey, I'm the man. I'm going to handle this. I'm going to build this brand around me. I know the local community. All my friends and family are pushing for me. I'm leaning on that to gain leads. I'm leaning on that to get jobs. I'm leaning on that to grow my business. And then once you have a real comfortable business where it's like, okay, we have a team, the leads are coming in, we're selling a lot of jobs, I've got guys in the right positions, I'm going to start. It took, like I said, there was about a 2-year period it took me to continue to slowly ease myself out of that position. I'll never go back. You know what I mean? Like, no, most people, there's so many people today because it used to be called T-Bay Roofing. It's now Rain Stoppers Roofing after the rebrand. But all the way up until this past year when we rebranded, most people still thought my dad owned the company. Most people didn't even know. They didn't know what I did for work. They thought my dad owned T-Bay Roofing and
you just worked for your dad.
Still in the oil business or something. You know what I mean? Like, no. They didn't even think I did. Like, they thought I was still working in the oil field from when I was like 23 years old.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Like, perfect.
Yeah.
You don't have a clue that it's me. I'm tickled because now I know I can start slowly weaning myself out of this company and let my people kind of do their thing. And my people love it. They want that responsibility and they want paid for it. And I'm happy to pay them for it. So it's a double-sided question. Early on, you best believe you better be the brand. But at some point, if you want a life and you want to do this long term, you gotta work yourself out of that spot.
I totally agree with that as well. I think that's true for a lot of businesses, but I think one thing to keep in mind is just you can be early on, you can be the brand without having your name be the brand. And so I think you'd agree with that there. It's if you're at the early stages and you're choosing a name, it is going to be better to go ahead and choose a name that is not your last name, because you can still be the brand and get all the benefits of that. Your family's going to support you no matter what. You
Yep.
know, your friends and family and community are going to support you. And if you're putting your face out there associating with it, that's what's going to matter, not that your name is the name of the company's your last name. And then it just makes it easier later. You don't have to rebrand later.
So I will say this, it's really, that's another one that's really weird. I agree 100%. Today, I agree 100%. But I truly believed, and I still do believe somewhat that. So the reason I started my company with my last name was because I always felt like, especially around where I live, people, you take pride if your name's on the line, right? Like so, and I think customers feel that. I think they feel like, hey, he's willing to put his name on the line to do business. But man, it's not worth it. Like, don't name your company after yourself. Name it, find a good name. Like, I feel like we finally found a good name, a good brand to build on. And if I would have started it, Rainstoppers Roofing 10 years ago, who knows where we'd be today? Because I know it'd be bigger than it is right now. But yeah, it's tough to not name it after yourself because you want to be proud of that. You want to take advantage of your local network because of that. But you're right, you can take advantage of that local network without that.